Oh man, what's good? What's good, everybody? It's your boy 313 J-Mo. We back once again, man. Once again, man. It's Free Smoke Sunday today, man. We back with Above the Rim with the DSA, man, and we here to talk about Sadiq Bey being in Team USA. You know, we here to talk about it's more Cade talk as usual. It's gonna be more Cade talk every day and every week, and things with the Pistons are changing a little bit. Now, this will be a shorter show, just like I told Drew. It might be the shortest show in history. I ain't gonna really cam up like that because I'm tired as hell. I just want to relax and talk some sports, man. Shout out to all of my people in the chat. Let's see. Make sure you guys like the video. But let's see. We got a Case Cracked in the building. Marvin Tobert in the building. Matt McLeod in the building. What's good? We got Mr. Ray in the building. Sean Down Sports in the building. Sykes Fifth J in the building. What's good, everybody? We got my man John Bradshaw. We got Angelo, Sean Dunn, Julian Ghostin in the building. What's good, y'all? Big Dog in the building, Ryan Boss, man. So, what's good, Drew, man? How you doing, man?
I'm a little disappointed that we lost to, what was it, Nigeria? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. We lost by 3. We let, I mean, who killed us? Gabe Vincent killed us.
Hey, Gabe Vincent. I was just talking about Gabe Vincent because me and some of my bros, we were talking about Nigeria and how, like, if Giannis played, they could win it all. Because, I mean, you got Giannis, Costas, Thanasis, and Gabe Vincent was another one of those Nigerian players. So it's funny that he went off like that.
Yeah, KD didn't look very good, though. Like, every time I was only catching a little bit, I was streaming it off my phone. Every time I was watching KD, man, he was throwing up a brick, bro. He was shooting like Ben Simmons, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know if he's still tired or what, but Team USA did not look good at all.
Okay, so to be honest with you, man, I didn't even know they were playing, man. I've been doing so much, and I just didn't know when the game was. So, what is this, the qualifier? Are we eliminated? What's going on? Because I really don't even know. All I found out was Sadiq Bey was going to be on the squad, and then I shut off my news for basketball.
I'm pretty sure this is to determine, like, seeding in the Olympics and who qualifies or not, which, I mean, we're going to, but you got to play better than that, man. I mean, Sadiq only played, 5 minutes? I don't even think he put up a shot. I'm looking at the box score. Yeah, he played 5.5 minutes. He had 2 boards and a steal, but he didn't even put up a shot.
But see, games like these is the games where you got to be playing the young guys like Sadiq and stuff. So you know they can get used to it and they can carry the load early on. Man, the thing that be pissing me off about Team USA is they don't be taking anything serious. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. They just do what they want to do and then they end up getting beat.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're going to be biased here because of the Pistons, but, I mean, Jeremy Grant played 16.5 minutes. He only shot 33%, but I feel like he opens up some stuff a little bit more. They played Kevin Love. I don't even know why the hell Kevin Love's on this team. He hasn't done anything in the NBA since LeBron was in Cleveland, and even then he was just a third option. But he only played 3 minutes. I don't know why he's playing at all. But the combination of Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal, that should be your lethal injection. And Beal only had 2 points in 25 minutes. I know it's not.
Yeah, I don't know how.
But you got to let these guys step up, man. It's like you said, they're not taking it serious. And it's not like this is the dream team. I mean, besides KD, man, this is all like the B squad. Like, these aren't.
It's really not. Bradley Beal is Bradley damn Beal. Let's not act like it's not the B squad. They just underperform.
Yeah, but
come on, man. Bradley Beal can go out and get 50 to anybody.
Though. This ain't the dream team. These aren't the best players at their positions. Beal has a case to being the best shooting guard. I don't know if I would put up the point or a shooting guard over him without a healthy Klay Thompson. I don't know if there is one better than him. KD's arguably one of the best players in the game still. But, I mean, is Bam the best center in the league? No. I don't think so. Draymond Green, he's good, but is he one of the best players in the league? No. So it's just like, these guys are still good. They're still great. It's just is not the dream team, so they don't have the right to take these games off. Whereas the dream team, you literally had the best players of all time on the team. And then the dream team 2.0, they had Kobe and LeBron and D Wade and others on there. That was the dream team 2.0 where they had the right to do that. These guys, like, they're good, but you just got beat by Nigeria. Like, you have to step up and take this stuff.
Wait, Kevin Love made the team.
Yeah, he played 3 minutes, bro.
I agree with what he said. Yeah, how did Kevin Love make the team? No goal this year. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, if I don't know, we don't know if Giannis plays, but if Giannis play, I might go with his squad.
That would be Greece. I don't know if he's going to play or not since he's still banged up.
He's
I would doubt
Nigerian, so he could play for Nigeria if he wanted to. He don't have to play. They don't have to play for Greece.
I don't know.
They're Nigerian.
I don't think Giannis will play this year. He'll probably take the summer off and fully recover.
I don't think he's going to play either because he's injured. So the issue is the world is catching up on USA. Well, it's not necessarily the world. I mean, you're right in a sense, but I would say we just have more international players, and some of our best players are just happen to be international. You know, just like a Giannis or Nikola Jokic. And then you have, bottom tier players that'll be from Nigeria or will be from somewhere else. And, it is what it is. But like Drew said, they don't have the top players out there anyway. No Steph Curry, no Russell Westbrook, no James Harden.
Brown, no AD, no Kyrie.
No Giannis. You know what I'm saying? No Kawhi Leonard, no Paul George. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't even get a George Paul out there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's like you said though. It's like Embiid. He's not from America. He's foreign. Giannis is foreign. The Joker's foreign. Luka's foreign. It's like you said though. It's like more and more of the league's best players aren't from the States. So like when they get a chance to play for the Olympics, they're going to go play for their country because they played in the States for 82 games plus the playoffs. Like Angelo said here, after the finals, D Book and Chris Middleton could join the team, which how tired will they be? If the Suns can wrap this thing up in 4 games, which I don't think they're going to. I don't think they can win 2 in Milwaukee. They can steal 1, but winning 2 in Milwaukee is going to be tough. But quickly, however this wraps up, they might still be tired. If it goes to 6 or 7, they might be fatigued. If it goes in 4, maybe, but we'll have to wait and see.
I don't think it's gonna go 4 or nothing like that. Well, we'll see what happens tonight. Obviously, I could be wrong, but the Bucks are really hard to beat at home.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't lost at home yet.
And if you remember, this is how they started the Brooklyn series. They fell down 0-2 and came back and won it in 7.
Yeah. I don't know about all that, but I do think they'll win this game 3. Like
they have to.
Drew Holiday, everybody gonna have an out of body experience, and then Giannis is gonna be great as well. So, I definitely think that's something to look at. This series has been really boring because it's like Giannis is LeBron syndrome. I'm gonna just go out here and play great, and y'all gonna be trash. Like Middleton showed up in the first game. But other than that, nobody is doing much of anything. So it's making for a boring series because it just looks like a one-man show versus a team.
Yeah, they're going to be in trouble if Giannis keeps dropping 40+ and they keep losing.
I mean, yeah. Like, come on, man. That's crazy. Let's just see. Cade has to be in the D. Ticket sales already jumping up. Plus, he may attract better free agents in the future when we actually have cap space.
Facts.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Pistons aren't a free agent team. So even when we get good, I don't see us getting some huge free agent. We'll probably just get players to fill out the team.
It will come from trades, though. Like you said, though, like we don't really spend a whole lot of money in free agency on good people. We overpay for like the Josh Smiths and the Ben Gordons and stuff like that. But that's not Troy Weaver. I feel like if Cade can turn this team around, build up the hype, then Troy might be a little bit more aggressive to trade from one of those guys because superstars become more and more available. But right now, you got to see what you got with the young guys. You might not need to make that trade if you develop the guys right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You might not need that. You might not need to give up the assets to get that in. You can just build the team, just getting some veterans or getting some solid players or get a good starter here and be able to have a deep team because you got a good starter coming off the bench. It's just a lot of things you can do when you have a team like ours that I feel like is unique because if Cade actually pans out as some superstar, our team is probably gonna be championship bound. Only because besides our pedigree and stuff, I don't even think I'm being biased. I'm just looking at the makeup of look at the other players besides Cade. If this guy actually becomes a superstar, and who knows if Sekou and these guys are still there. But if you still got Sekou and Killian and Sadiq Bey, who's going to be at least an all-star, and Jeremy Grant is somehow still there, like, now you're talking about a team that's going to be a problem for years, and people are going to be jealous of us. So when I'm looking at it like that in the way that things are building, it's very interesting.
I don't think people realize how special Sadiq can become. He had one of the best rookie seasons we've had in a long time, all rookie squad, broke a lot of three-point records. But the most important thing is he was on the USA Team Select, which means they scrimmage against Team USA. Who's coaching Team USA? Arguably the greatest, if not one of the greatest coaches of all time, and that's Pop. He recognized Sadiq's talent, and he is coaching Sadiq right now. When you have a player who came out and played the way Sadiq did this year, and then you throw him in the coach of the GOAT conversation, if you want to put him in there, he's going to learn so much from Pop. Pop has got just such a unique skill of developing players. He's going to be teaching them. Plus, he's working out with KD, who is really good. He's learning from all these guys, and I expect a big year from Sadiq next year.
I think we got Bravo in the building, but do you guys think Cade or any of our other young guys can be better than Jeremy Grant in 2 years? No. Only because maybe Sadiq Bey, but Jeremy Grant, he's not a superstar. He's not an all-star yet, but he's a really good player. So it might take a couple years because he can just average 20 and play good defense. It's not that many players in the league that can just do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have players that'll be better than him. You know, in totality, plenty of players. You know, at least 3 of them, maybe 4 if you have Isaiah Stewart. You know, a different type of basketball player. But when you're just talking about all that other stuff in development and things, it'd be interesting to see. Are Sekou and Killian playing for the French team? I don't know. I would love to see them play though. Get some more reps, especially Killian. Killian need to be playing as much basketball as possible so he can stay healthy. I feel like
somebody in the comments.
Damian Lillard. They had Damian Lillard and they lost. Oh yeah, y'all fluking. What'd you say, Drew?
I'm trying to get all these guys who know. I don't know the young prospects that the Tigers just drafted. Someone in the comments put what Alavila just drafted in basketball terms. Like who?
Yeah, they said we just drafted somebody bad, but we'll see.
Is that like the Stanley Johnson pick? Is it worse than that? Like what's the deal here? Because I don't know anything about what is his name? Jackson Joby? I don't know much about him.
I didn't even know what the Tigers draft. I didn't even know the Tigers draft was going on. Like what?
Yeah, I didn't know that was today either. I don't know what this is going to be equivalent to. Alavila should be fired. High school pitcher at 3. Arm angle looks real bad. Hope I'm wrong. Oh, so you're saying that even I could take this guy yard? I mean, I could.
Bravo, what's good, man? How you doing?
How's it going, everybody? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm using the iPhone at work. So how is the talk going? What are you guys up to?
We were just talking about the Team USA game before we got into other stuff. And for this show, like I said, it will be shorter. So I'll probably be answering more of you guys' questions out there. So we'll see, man. Let me see. I'll adjust my camera 1 second. Alavila need to go. Alavila screwed up the draft. Y'all angry. And yeah, that Tigers loss today was very, very. I'm surprised we lost that game, to be honest with you. But back to the Pistons. Okay, so hold on. I think I saw some comments before we move on. Now, when it comes to Grant and Sadiq Bey, hopefully they can get some opportunity to play. But we really like that team, USA basketball. It's a big hierarchy with minutes and all of these things. I don't see how you. I forgot they had Damian Lillard. They don't have no excuse if you had Damian Lillard. That's the way I feel. Like I know they had KD, but Damian Lillard is a nuclear weapon. 50 on you, 60 on you, shooting from the logo. Like you had Dame. I don't know how did they lose with Dame Lillard? Like how? Like Dame had to really have played like trash. People said he played like garbage. He had to play like garbage. Like really. I don't know how you lose with Dame Lillard, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant.
Beal only
And then
had
you
2
add
points.
in Bill only had 2 points. See,
Two.
look, this is the thing. This is why we're not gonna win the gold medal if we keep slacking off, because the players in USA, they don't care about the gold medal, and that's because the people in USA, we don't give it any value. So now when they going overseas, they fine with giving 2-point performances. They fine with playing trash. They don't have that motivation. They don't have that motivation, bro. But these overseas teams, you know, Nigeria, Luka Doncic and his squad, Spain, back when they whooped on us, all these teams, they ready to ball for their country, but USA, they don't give a damn. Bradley Beal, bro. You damn near the best scorer in the league almost. 2 points? 2 points. See, man, that, like, I swear, man. Sometimes the way that our culture is, it be backfiring. Like this is crazy how much they don't care. They just don't care about the Olympics anymore. Back in the day, you know, LeBron and Carmelo, especially Melo, they cared. You know what I'm saying? Even back to Jordan and stuff, they cared and they won. We got my man Everything King in the building. What's good, King, man? Make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already, man.
I'll tell you what, man. They could have used Beef Stew's defense, man. Precious was just killing them defensively, man. He was all over the place. He was everywhere, and Bam really didn't have an answer for that. And like King said, lazy defense, man. They didn't care. They really did not give a rat.
The moment you told me Bradley Beal had 2 points, that's all I needed to know. Like 2 points. Like he didn't give a damn about the game. Like I ain't never seen Bradley Beal score 2 points. And 2 points? He didn't care.
They started Dame, Beal, Jason Tatum, and KD, and then Bam at the 5. Like, come on. They only scored 87 points. Are you kidding me, bro? I've seen better defense in an All-Star game. They don't care about the All-Star game. They really don't care about this. I don't get it, man. Olympic Melo is almost as good as Hoodie Melo. I don't know who's better, Hoodie Melo or Olympic Melo.
Well, low key, Hoodie Melo, I ain't never seen him miss. So I'm for real. I've never seen Hoodie Melo miss a shot, bro. Like, and if I have, I forgot the shot in my head. I'm like, he didn't miss that. Whatever. Hoodie Melo, like, Olympic Melo has the most points or whatever, but Hoodie Melo, like, he don't miss, bro. Like Hoodie, I'm taking Hoodie Melo against anybody, bro. 1-on-1. If we playing 1-on-1 winners, like winner get the basket, I'm taking Hoodie Melo, bro, all day, because he gonna get that first mid range. You can't do nothing with him. He was missing layups. Yeah, Olympic Melo was definitely different. Okay, so yes, I did want to talk about Cade a little bit, because it seems like even though it's a consensus on at least 70% of the fans, I'm just a fan where I'm just gonna take the best talent available. It's a lot of people still talking about the comparisons with Cade. It's getting pretty crazy. Jalen Green stock rises by the day. I mean, who can blame him? He's Jalen Green. And then you have a lot of these pundits having us taking Jalen Green. My thing is, I can care less about fans, but how do you feel that we got actually media pundits trying to get us to take Jalen Green and instead of Cade Cunningham?
It's weird. Like, why? I mean, not that I don't like Green, because I do, and he's got a case for being the number 1 overall pick. But maybe if he played in college, he'd have a little bit more emphasis on that. You don't really know how it's going to translate coming from the G League into the NBA yet. We've never seen it before. We've seen what Cade did in college and how special he was. But teams don't want the Pistons to get a franchise player like this who's got unlimited potential. I mean, Cade could be super, super good in 3 years. We don't know. We don't know how good Jalen Green's going to be. He's a bucket there. He's going to put up a lot of points. We do know that. But how much more can he develop? We don't know yet. I mean, it's the draft. It's a gamble. But for almost every single mock draft that I have seen from big news outlets, ESPN, NBA, Yahoo, Fox Sports, they all have us taking Jalen Green at number 1. And I'm like, why? Because if it was the Houston Rockets with the number 1 overall pick, you think they still have them taking Jalen Green? Hell no. They're going to be taking Cade. And that's all you would hear about. All the photoshops we've seen of Cade and Detroit Pistons jerseys is from Pistons fans. Everyone else, man, if Houston had the number 1 overall pick, that's all you would see from Bleacher Report and ESPN. That's all they would be talking about is Cade on the Rockets. Well, news flash for you guys. He's not going there. The Pistons aren't trading the pick. We're not going to be taking the 7th and James Wiseman for the pick. We're sure as hell not taking anything the Houston Rockets have to offer.
We're not trading that damn pick. Y'all need to stop.
Is going to be a Detroit Piston, and that's the bottom line. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I wipe my ass with all these trade offers. I don't give a damn about them. It's not happening unless you.
Well, that one where we got 2 and 3 was nice though.
To say no, Cade Cunningham.
That's the only one that I was good with. Now that one trade where we got 2 and 3, I was like, well, yeah, I would have to do that. Because then we get Mobley and Jalen Green, and that's
not a realistic offer, though. That's not gonna happen.
No, of course we know it's not realistic. We know it's impossible. But that was the only trade offer where I was like, well, yeah, if you're gonna give me 2 and 3, then of course I would do that. But other than that, we know it's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
No, I just find it funny that not only that our pundits really they really got us not taking Cade Cunningham. But more than that, they really all of these trade scenarios. So y'all went from take Jalen Green, and I think Jalen Green the best player in the draft. So if they took Jalen Green, I'm not gonna be upset. So you go from doing that to just trade the pick. It's like they keep trying to move narratives, and I just say to the Pistons fans, and they're all the bullshit. What did I say? What did I say at the last show? Party. Talk shit to all the fan bases because we back. They about to be sick about it. You gonna be salty and just enjoy it and let them talk and let them talk and let them talk. And you sit back and you go to sleep. And if you dream, you're thinking about Troy with his 2 phones. And if you do that, then it's fine because that's all I'm doing. I just wanted to mention it because whenever it's the Pistons, there's always something to say. There's always some caveat. There's always some new avenue. There's always, well, what should they do with the pick? As if it's not necessarily 100% no brainer. But taking Cade is just it's the stimulus package. You take him, you're gonna sell more tickets than if you took Jalen Green, even if Jalen Green is the better player. So when you talking about bringing the city back and being a popular little mecca down here, then that's exactly what's gonna happen. But looks like we got Bravo in the building, man. What's good?
I'm doing good. What's up with you guys?
We doing well. We doing well, man. So what's your thoughts on this topic, man? Did you hear about it?
About what Cade Cunningham trade?
About the media talking about offering trades for Cade Cunningham, or talking about us getting Jalen Green instead of us just doing what we're supposed to do with the pick.
Okay, Piston fans, all the people in the chat, J-Mo, Andrew, let me tell you something. Troy Weaver is drafting Cade Cunningham. We're not going to pass on him. And this is all smoke screen. Just don't waste your time thinking about that topic because Cade isn't in our hands. I'm telling you, we're not letting him go. The only way we let him go is to get a God offer, which is, we don't know what it is. I think a God offer is equal to me is Donovan Mitchell. A guy like Donovan Mitchell or Luka, which is impossible. It's not going to happen. Or if Houston willing to give us second pick, the only thing we could trade it is if Houston give us the second pick and give us multiple first-round picks, not only one, and it has to be unprotected. These are God offers, and I don't think it's happening. So it's also a smoke screen. Don't waste your time in this. I think you probably have more wasting time looking at the other players in the draft and who are we going to draft in the second round. That's the fun part, and then everybody's not talking about that. And who are we considering?
I don't think no. I mean,
the other question
our second round picks is not going to be the story. of the
Yeah,
season
yeah.
next year.
So let me tell you something, JMO. This draft is very strong. Just reminds me of Luka Doncic and Trae Young draft that year. These players in the second round are legit players too. They're not bad at all. I can see them. A lot of them, like if you look at their ability to play the game, they can really be excellent role players. Like they'd be the conversation, like the Bruce Brown kind of player, like we saw when we drafted him. So you can find easy kind of like player like in the second round, like which is really interesting. And I think we should at some point talk about it after we draft Cade. And I think I'm not worried about that topic. The thing is, the media wants us to fail so bad. There's a lot of hate against the Detroit basketball team and the whole town of Detroit. We're a small market team, and they just don't like us, man. It's just, it's just, if you've seen this, watch the soccer game between England and Italy, it happens just a couple of hours ago. Everybody hates England. Nobody wants England to win, and they lost in the end. They lost in penalties, which is expected. It's not unusual that the NBA fans doesn't like us because we're not famous. We're not really known for sexy team. No, we're just bad team. Like not a bad team. We're just a hated team. So that they're never gonna really give us love. Trust me, never, never. So even if we make the final, if we win a championship, they're never gonna make us really look legit team, and they're always gonna hate us. So those medias will never, never, ever give us credit for this team. I can see some people talking positive about us if we really play well, but this is what reality is. Wake up, Piston fans. They just don't like us. They want us to miserably fail. And I think Troy Weaver is not really letting Cade go without anything. And that's all the smoke screen, in my opinion.
So much of this goes back to last year, though, with the draft. Like, we were hoping for Melo, and then when we fell to 7th, we were talking about trading up and getting Melo. It never happened. And then when Melo went to Charlotte, everyone's like, the hell is he going to do in Charlotte? Like, they don't have a good team around him. And he transformed that team. It's going to do the same thing with Cade. Everyone else is trying to trade up to get him. They don't want him to go to Detroit. And once he gets here, he's going to flip the page. We might not make the playoffs right away, but you're going to see a change in pace, a change in swagger. We're going to be more aggressive. We're going to be trying to fight and win every single game because we finally got a guy like that. It's gonna be night and day difference. And the league does not want that because they don't like to talk about the Pistons. They never have, all the way from the bad boys, because they made Magic Johnson and Larry Bird not look so great. They made the greatest player of all time, MJ, not look so great. 04, they made Shaq and Kobe not look so great. It's just what the Pistons do. No one likes to talk about it, but when it's time to shine, the lights don't shine brighter than us, man. When it's time to come up, we show the world what's up. And we let them know who we are and that we don't play their way. We play Detroit basketball. It's different. And the media cannot afford Cade Cunningham coming to a team like that where it's us versus everybody. We're our own thing. We don't need you to talk about us. We'll talk about our damn selves. And they don't want that.
You see what who is it down talking about Cade is from I know he's from Texas, but see, I know people who watch Cade growing up his whole time and they don't necessarily think he should be as hyped as he is. So it's a lot of people from the hometown that are very, very big on him and they want him there, and other people that are being ejected. But when I'm just looking at this, I don't care. Y'all heard my little spiel last week, so I don't really have to say any more about this. Is why I said puff out your chest and talk all the smack. Now, I don't really have time to talk smack to Pistons fans, but if you have the time, I mean to other players, fans, of other teams, but if you have the time, let them know that the Pistons are on the rise. And we'll see about the playoffs and things of that nature when I feel like Troy Weaver is going to figure out a way to build our roster with no money.
Yeah.
And he's going to finesse some stuff. He's going to switch some things around, and he's going to build it up real good. And that's all I'm really concerned with. And I just want Cade to be healthy and just be in a good environment. So I did want to ask, so how do you think Dwayne Casey and this Cade Cunningham situation, when we draft this guy, because I definitely think it's going to happen, how does that dynamic going to work? Because Dwayne Casey isn't a person, I mean, Sadiq Bey is probably the first person he's even showed that with. He doesn't really like rookies like that. Obviously, he's going to have to play him. Obviously, he had to play Killian and things like that. And Dwayne Casey, the way he runs his offense, his philosophy, everything is basically his way or the highway. We got a guy who is a playmaker and is a scorer, and people just want to put the ball in his hands and just let it run. But we know it's not going to happen with Dwayne Casey. So I just want to know, how do y'all think that's going to work? Is Dwayne Casey going to have a good effect on Cade, or will we be coming here talking about, why the hell did you take Cade out the game in the fourth quarter? The dude was balling. I don't care if he was 317. He had just hit 2 3-pointers. That type of thing. Because I can easily see it happening. I can easily see, why the hell you take Cade out the game? So this is something that I wanted to talk about, because we talk about Cade and everything that we want him to do, but in the NBA, it's like 40% on your situation, really. Like 40% on situation, and like the other 10% is the coaching. Well, not 10%. It's really like 25% coaching, and the rest is just yourself, man. But coaching and coincides with the situation. So in that one little umbrella. But that matters a lot when it comes to a lot of freedom that players are gonna have. Because you look at LaMelo. LaMelo had to he started off the bench, and he had to like force his way into the starting lineup and things. Just total ridiculousness. Just idiots. Charlotte making LaMelo come out to idiots. But when let's just say, I don't know where we're gonna play Cade. I don't know if it's gonna be small forward. Shooting guard, point guard, I really don't know. But let's say wherever it is, somebody is challenging him for that spot. Is Dwayne Casey going to play favors as usual? Or is he going to run with the young kid? Because we've seen him do it plenty of times before. I mean, Sadiq Bey or Sekou or even Jeremy Grant could ball, and if we using Cade as a 3, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at? It's just a lot of things I'll be thinking about, because I just go to the coaching. Forget all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's going to be a factor with Cade, though. Is because
it's going to be a factor.
I think Troy Weaver's going to intervene and be like, I drafted this kid number 1. You start him. You finish the game with him. Now, maybe between second and third quarter, that's when things start to blur. And who knows? But I would almost bet he will start the game and he will be out there to finish the game. Doesn't mean he's going to be out there taking the last shot, closing the game out, because, like I said, I think Sadiq's going to have a nice year. I think he's really going to take a next step. And Jeremy Grant, I would assume he's going to put up 20 points per game. I don't see him falling off the face of the earth. So both those guys will be kind of our closers, and Cade's going to learn from that and fit the system. Because, the system's already different than what it was in college. He's got to come into a new system and learn whatever playbook we have. I'm not really sure what our playbook was or what we like to run, because it was kind of like, Grant, you go put up a bunch of shots. Everyone else, when your time comes, you just put up a couple shots. But he spaces the floor. He's going to be a good defender. He's a good playmaker. There's just too many positives to have him on the bench in the fourth quarter. And he's a rookie. He's not taking a game-winning shot right off the rip. That ain't happening. It so rarely does, unless you're just built different. But I don't think Casey's going to have just any wiggle room to bench this kid in the fourth quarter, unless it's like 20 seconds on the shot clock, it's a close game, and he shoots a bad shot. That's the only way. Or if he misses an assignment defensively and it's a learning thing, that's the only thing I can see. But if he's playing great, like you said, say he hits 2 threes and they try to pull him out the game, Troy Weaver's going to come down from the front office and smack Dwayne Casey across the face saying, what the hell are you doing? Put him back in the game or you're fired. And that's all there is to it. You can't afford to do that. You can't afford to be Charlotte. If Charlotte would have started Melo right off the rip, they may have not been in the play-in tournament. They might have been that 6th seed, that 5th seed, wherever they would have fell, not playing the play-in tournament and then losing. We have nothing to lose. I know we're not trying to tank, but we're not going to be a title contender this year. So what would be the benefit of sitting Cade for no reason at all? So I don't think Casey's going to do that. Casey, he's an idiot, but he's not a complete moron at the same time. I think he's going to let Cade do his thing. What do you think about that, Bravo?
I think it's just going to be fine, so I'm not worried too much about this right now. The thing is, we know Dwayne Casey, how he really you look, if you're really concerned about this, JMO, I understand you're concerned, but you look at the history. Dwayne Casey did like this in the Raptors before, and he really managed to really build up a nice team. DeRozan, Siakam, all these players really were doing good. and eventually they won a championship. And I could feel like Dwayne Casey's really ceiling is the playoff. If you cannot make an adjustment during the game, that's his ceiling. So he's gonna be gone at some time in the future. But I think what could help, yeah, I think that's what usually gonna happen. I feel like he's gonna be an excellent starting coach for Cade Cunningham, and he's just gonna be just fine. The thing is, we don't. It all depends on the future, how he coaches in the playoff. Let's say down the line in 2 or 3 years. The other thing is you look at is, I really like the Pistons move when they really just Sean Sweeney is leaving the Pistons. Houston fans think, oh, Sean Sweeney is a huge loss. We lost a developing coach, assistant coach. Yes, but we got a lot of developing coaches from Troy Weaver. I'm not worried about that. But Sean Sweeney is a problem. There's a reason why the Bucks got rid of him. And look at the Bucks right now; they've got a lot better team after he left the Bucks. And he developed Giannis, but Giannis has developed himself. It all depends on the player. And I haven't seen much from Sean Sweeney as an assistant coach. So the Pistons' next move, if Casey doesn't perform well, is to get an excellent assistant coach. So, and that potentially can become the new Pistons coach, like we said with this guy from the Brooklyn Nets. They hired him as an assistant coach. Now we can get another one. So I think that's why what could keep Casey in his position is getting a good assistant coach, because he lacks in-game adjustment. That was his main problem. I'm not worried about him or Cade Cunningham development. So that's my point.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I'll say, because we're assuming everything is going to go smoothly during the season. I'm just going to say a lot can happen during the NBA season. So,
I just don't see him, man. I don't see
bro.
him.
So what if Cade is playing bad and Saddiq Bey is the second best player on the team? You starting Cade over Saddiq Bey?
That's
the point of where I say a lot of things can happen during the season. That's all I'm saying. Like, a lot of things can happen. Like, stuff isn't now. Sometimes it is all roses. You hit the ground running like LaMelo or Luka, but it ain't always like that. And I definitely know Dwayne Casey can shave minutes and move things around. Of course, he'll start the first game, but that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about Cade being able to be himself on the basketball court and not having to conform to a system that's not going to work, and whatever system that is that Dwayne Casey is running.
So it's obvious.
I just don't know.
Cade might struggle initially. It's okay. Every rookie struggles. It's not unusual. So what you do is just protect them by giving the ball to Jeremy Grant, giving the ball to Killian Hayes. That's how we're sharing the ball. You're not gonna really start Cade Cunningham of a point guard immediately and putting Killian Hayes on the side. No. You're going to have to share the ball between the two. And he's protecting Cade by providing them insurance policy by giving the ball to other guys. Like, that's how I see it. So I'm not worried too much about, like, playing time or how he's going to really, really become. The thing is, we need to draft him. That's first. And just move on. I think this is going to be fine. And the Cade, I still think Cade, the best comparison. People are saying Luka. I think the best comparison for Cade Cunningham is Paul George. He really reminds me a lot of Paul George. That step back is like Paul George.
Oh, really? My cousin said if Cade Cunningham turned out to be Paul George, then we made a mistake.
I don't think so. He's a good player, and he's just...
Is Paul George the number 1 overall pick?
He's a better passer than Paul George, for sure. And he's also a better player off the post than Paul George. So Paul George is more athletic, and he shoots great. But I think Cade has also got the shot, so... But I think he reminds me of Paul George in that essence that he can get off the ball and he can play on the ball. Like, it doesn't matter if he gets the ball or not, and he's eventually going to get the ball in the important moments for the team, so that he's going to carry the team. I can see him that, but I'm not worried about him like being a bust. His floor is high for me. I actually Jalen Green's floor is really is crazy to think about it. He might turn into not a good player. I definitely see him high ceiling. But his floor is a problem. I don't know if he's got a high floor. He might not have a high floor because this body, Jalen Green.
I think Jalen Green. He a boring scorer. So
yes, J-Mo, but
his floor is what, averaging 20 a game, I guess.
But if he doesn't develop properly, if he doesn't really,
he'll still be averaging 20 a game. Like,
yeah, maybe.
He 18 doing that. Like, he tough.
You don't know. You don't know these NBA players. I like Jalen Green.
I know about Jalen Green and scoring the ball.
What do you think his floor is better, Jalen Green or Cade Cunningham? The floor.
I think their floor is the same.
I don't think so. I think
because Jalen Green is already the better scorer already. So, and then they both can shoot the ball. I mean, and Jalen Green has that athleticism, and then Cade has his abilities, he being able to score, being able to pass the ball, being big. But at the end of the day, I already told you how I feel about them as prospects. I think they're very, very close.
I think the problem is with Jalen Green is really his floor, in my opinion. His ceiling is, I think, is higher than
Cade not being the type of.
Can you hear me, JMO? Detroit Drew, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I think JMO's having Wi-Fi problems right now.
Yeah.
He looks frozen. He might be joining back in a minute.
Yeah.
But on the whole floor situation, both of these guys are going to be great. They're the two best players in the draft. I don't think anyone else who actually can follow this draft can say anything other than that. It's about fit, though. Like, depending on who goes where can really impact on how they get developed. And I think Cade has a better opportunity with the Pistons of reaching that potential. I mean, look at the talent around him. He's not going to be seeing double and triple teams like he did in college because of Saddiq Bey, because of Jeremy Grant. He's going to have a lot more one-on-one opportunities. And when the defense runs a zone, go watch his film, man. He's really, really smart and can see the floor. He knows how to pick apart the zone. Whereas Green, he's an underrated passer. People don't talk about his playmaking enough because he's a bucket getter. I don't think either one of these players are going to be a bust. It's not going to happen. Wherever Jalen Green goes to, if it's number 2, if he falls to 3, they're going to be happy to have him. And he's going to be a franchise player. If he goes to Houston, him and Christian Wood is going to be filthy. Filthy. It's going to be a nightmare to try to stop that. I don't know if one person's floor is higher than the others because, like, I kind of agree with Jim, man. These guys are both going to be great and phenomenal.
Yeah, but this kind of body he has and the athleticism makes me concerned because if he takes these kind of like dunks in the NBA and the risk of injuries, the floor will be like useless. Look at Markelle Fultz.
Man, they said the same thing about John Morant.
Yeah, if he gets injured, it's over. the floor is over.
John Morant damn near gets a life and career-ending injury every game because of like how athletic and the crazy stuff he be doing. Like I said, as prospects, I definitely think, man, they're definitely close. It's potential that, like, while most people putting Cade over Jalen Green, I don't think it's about like them right now. So,
people are talking about Zach LaVine in the comments right now. I'm pretty sure there was people out there when he tore his ACL that thought he was done, but he came back and now he's a better player. So you can't go in the draft and say, man, if this guy gets injured, he's done, because you can't predict injuries, or you never see them coming. You know, like, I'm sure when Giannis hyperextended his knee, they're like, oh, Bucks are done. But he came back out and he played game 1 for the finals. Now I don't think the Bucks are going to win it, but they have at least a shot with Giannis playing. You can't draft someone and say, man, if he gets injured, we're done. Like, what if LeBron got injured? You know, like, what if Kobe got injured? What if MJ got injured? It's all what-if games. I mean, you can't really go into that in the draft, you know. Like, even though I don't like Blake Griffin, he's had numerous injuries. He developed his game and got better, so that way he didn't have to dunk on people anymore. He developed his three-point shot. The development stage in the NBA is so good now where if you come in the league and you can't shoot, they will make you a better shooter, so that way you don't have to rely on just pure athleticism anymore. And I think the Pistons, what they have done is they got a ton of coaches who can develop players, so that way if for some reason Cade got hurt, they can develop him around the injury, so that way he doesn't rely on anything, which he's not a super athletic guy just to rely on it, but he is athletic. But he doesn't beat you with his pure athleticism, if that makes sense. So it's different, but the NBA is also different in how they develop people and how they add their game now. So I don't think people really go in the draft, man, if this guy gets hurt, we're done. I don't think they look at it that way.
Yeah, but that's how I feel like is just the athleticism he has always sometimes worries me that he takes these kind of dunks and kind of moves. I mean, I'd be worried because when I play him here, any kind of injury, that knee's gone, he's over. So look at Fultz. Like, Fultz got completely ruined because of that.
I don't think Fultz got ruined because of his shoulder injury first. Like he blew out his knee and stuff afterwards. At first, it started with the shoulder and the shooting. Like the ACL was just something unfortunate. But in Fultz, I mean, now he definitely was athletic. He definitely had very good athleticism for a guard, but he wasn't like a Jalen Green. But I understand, man. We got to listen to Bravo, the doctor, giving us education about being worried about it. So we can take heed. But like Drew said, I'm not worried about Jalen Green getting injured. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about Cade Cunningham getting injured either. So I'm not necessarily worried about any of these players getting injured because none of them have a history of injuries right now. None of the top prospects really have a history of that. So we'll see what happens in the NBA. But health is one of the most valuable things for a young player. Those young players that we see be late bloomers, like 40% of them, 30% of them really be guys who was injured. And, they finally got healthy and was able to, produce.
The best player I had, athleticism, I've never seen a better athlete like a point guard like D Rose, and he got killed because of the injury. So these players, remember, like its injury is not, especially when you do these kind of maneuvers, I'm really concerned. I'd rather take a more shooter than like a more stable player than a guy who goes crazy moves. Like even Giannis is at risk. So like Trae Young and Luka Doncic are not athletic as the other players, and these are be less likely. Well, you don't know. It's hard to protect.
I was about to say they get hurt too. So
yeah, but it's just less.
Like I compare it to when in football they say quarterbacks shouldn't run outside the pocket because they'll get injured. When in reality, quarterbacks get injured more inside the pocket than they do outside the pocket by a significant margin. And to me, it's just the same with a different philosophy, to be honest.
Even Zion is at risk of like meniscus tear. So,
Zion's at risk. But see, guys like Zion and Derrick Rose, it's like unless they, unless they train their body for their explosiveness to the point, I'm talking about completely trained, going to LeBron type regimen. Like their body couldn't just hold up. Derrick Rose was super explosive, but you know what I'm saying. He wasn't training himself to keep his explosion intact. Like Zion isn't training himself for his explosion on his body, or maybe he is.
Yeah.
But that's why I mean, you see how explosive those guys are. Like, come on, Zion, come on. So that's just something that you can't really help sometimes.
We will see. I think they're just both good players, like you mentioned, and I would agree with you guys eventually. But if I'm really want to draft him Green, you don't draft him at 1, you draft him at 2, in my opinion, and you move on. That's how you do it. But I stick with Cade personally.
Yeah, 100%. All right, y'all. I said this was going to be a shorter video, so make sure you guys drop your questions in the chat if you have any questions, man. We're going to get to y'all questions. We got the finals going on right now. Giannis just walked off the court. What happened? I hope he's not hurt. That'll be over.
It's Cade Cunningham does. I saw someone talking about comparing Cade Cunningham with Carmelo Anthony. How do you guys feel about that?
What? No. Hell no. I'm sorry.
I don't think that's the case.
Don't disrespect Carmelo Anthony, dog. And that's no offense to Cade, but Carmelo coming out of college, I mean, we don't even need to talk about that dude. And offensively, I mean, his bag, no. Like, Cade don't have a ISO game like Carmelo. He has a good ISO game, but Carmelo is one of the most unique ISO players, like, at his height that we've seen, at least in this era. I mean, they don't even pass. I don't know. I don't know about that.
So, what do you guys think about the fitness? About the fit?
Ooh.
What is it?
Aiden just dunked on Brook Lopez. It looked like.
Yeah. What do you guys feel about the fit of Evan Mobley on this team? Let's say if we draft, I'm not talking about Cade or Green. Can you guys see Mobley playing on our team?
Well, of course.
I think he fits the best out of those three, in my opinion.
Well, I think Green fits the best, but because Mobley and Stewart, even though they both can play 4 or 5, eventually if they both turn out to be great players, you'll have to end up getting rid of one because we have other players that can play the 4 and things like that. So that's a factor, but no, Mobley fits perfect. I don't have any problem with grabbing Mobley. I still think he's a monster. I think he has superstar potential too. He just has to stay healthy. And what I mean by like, it's not like he has injury issues, but when you got a body in a frame like that, you know what I'm saying? If you stay healthy, you'll be straight. Just you don't need an early career, well, not career ending, but career, slow down. You know, those ACL tears are just like the most common thing ever, man. Yeah, Carmelo rookie page than LeBron, 100%.
So the other thing is with the Pistons, if we end up drafting Cade, becoming a better team in the next couple of years, I feel like we still need like one of those rookies to develop into all-star, and I do see the best one is on our team right now is Saddiq Bey, but eventually I think having Cade under this team and maybe one of the guys turn to a star, Jeremy Grant, I think it would be a good destination for free agents. I mean, you could easily grab a guy like Seth Curry or maybe like anyone who can shoot like amazing for us, and it would be a good basketball team. That's how I really think about it. I think it's just important to draft Cade, not just because of the fact he's the best player. I think he's having a good team will attract a lot of free agents. Like, look at this Phoenix Suns. Like, look at this Bucks. And even that we know of Miami and Los Angeles, they attract agents. But when you have the best player on your team, you can attract free agents. That could become a free agent destination.
Yeah, but like I was saying earlier, I don't think the Pistons is a place for that free agent. People always talk about that. We're not a place that's going to take a big free agent, even if we're winning. We're just not going to do it. That's just never been our moniker.
You see us getting Jason
Tatum.
We'll
go out and get a Rasheed Wallace or something.
You see us getting Jason Tatum and free agents.
I don't see that at all.
Oh, man.
Not to mention who plays the power forward between Grant. Who plays a power forward between Grant, Sekou, Mobley, and Stewart? Well, Mobley is playing center. Stewart is going to come off the bench. And then you have Grant or Sekou play the four. Yeah, if you get Mobley, Stewart's coming off the bench.
I mean, having Grant and Mobley start and then Sekou and Stewart off the bench, so that'd be pretty awesome.
It'd be a nightmare for some teams to be like, all right, we dealt with Mobley and Grant, good. Then here comes Sekou and Stewart, even more dangerous and more hungry. Yeah, they not gonna want none of that, man.
Too bad we won't have to worry about that.
Facility equals guard net. Hey, man, I think Mobley is a very talented big. To me, like I said, he's the highest big. He's the big I've been the highest on since Ayton. I thought Ayton was gonna be really freaking good. I mean, it's documented. I have videos. I thought he was gonna be real good, and he is. So I feel the same way about Mobley.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we were at 3 and he was available though, and we took him, I'd be so happy. It's just you gotta take Cade at where we're at, and we're not trading the pick. So even think about Mobley, it's just not going to happen.
So let's talk about the offer that could really potentially make the deal. What do you think a God offer would be? Godfather.
Let me see. He says, I think you take Cade first, but I think Green is a slightly better fit because you already have Killian to playmate. He can just come in and get buckets for you. Yeah, that's the same thing I was saying. Whenever you have two, whenever you bring another playmaker into the situation, taking the ball out of the guy who's supposed to be the main ball handler hands, like the transition and the chemistry will be way different than you just put Killian next to Mobley, who he can throw lobs to, or Killian next to Jalen Green, who he just has to pass the ball and let score. But Cade versatility makes him a good fit anywhere just because of how versatile he is.
You don't draft on fit, though. You got to take the best player available. We got burned so many times doing that.
Though, to me, this isn't drafted on fit. This is Jalen Green. Like that, like to me, that just not. You can't say that. This is Jalen Green. I could be if it was somebody else, cool. But if I was drafting LaMelo on fit over Anthony Edwards because I wanted his talents, like that's what you do. But I mean, I really don't. I just don't think the gap in him and Cade is just so big that it's really not. Stu off the bench, hell no, hell yeah for Mobley, of course he coming off the bench. I love Stewart, but he's not Evan Mobley. Next year we go into the playoffs, play in, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. Make sure you guys drop your questions in the chat because I will wrap up the show soon, man. Man's got to wake up early, 3 a.m., 2 a.m. type stuff. Let me see. What's good, Luke G? Hammy scored 35 one game this year. Yeah, somebody asking about Diallo or Frank or both. We talked about that. I said Frank. I think Stu said Diallo. I think Bravo said Diallo. I just want Frank because he can shoot the ball, but Diallo's the better player, of course.
It all depends on the money eventually. So, we could actually draft second-round picks, good players, as good as those players, Diallo and Frank Jackson. I'm not worried too much, but I would like to get Diallo personally because he's got a higher ceiling. And he's a friend with Sekou. He's from the same country of Sekou, so why not?
Hey, man, you know how much I love Diallo.
Yeah.
And you know how much I dislike Frank Jackson, but you also know that I'm never biased, and I can separate my biases to analyze the game. And Frank just fits great. I mean, Diallo's way better. You know how much I love Diallo. So I don't have to say that, but sometimes when you got players like Cade who has this trajectory of being a star, you got to get shooters. And if they can get somebody early to get a little chemistry, or of course they can find a Steph Curry or, find you a, not Terrence Ross, but find you a young Terrence Ross type, they can find a shooter. So it's not that serious, but it's just something to think about. But Diallo is a guy who's going to be scoring, getting the ball, trying to get his, all of that type of thing. I already told you, I'll hope it's on the Pistons, but he need to go somewhere where somebody is just going to let him play. Let him play 30 minutes and let him score the ball and, turn into whatever he can be, because some of these players get held back a lot when they under handcuffs set up out of coaching or whatever, or, the hierarchy, the rotations, all that stuff. Let's see. Luke G says, how far are the Pistons from being a playoff team? 2 years. We'll definitely be in the playoffs in 2 years. Y'all got some thoughts on that? I don't know if Drew is still there.
Yeah, he's still here.
Oh, is he? Bravo, you got some thoughts on that? How far the Pistons are from being a playoff team?
Can you hear me?
It's too early.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at the Pistons as a playoff team right now. We just, just chill.
No, how far?
How far? I think a 1 year probably. We're not really ready this year because we don't know how so we don't really put expectations of the team. Just don't do that. Expect us maybe to be a better than the last 5 teams. I would expect us to be the best 10 team in the East. Maybe I would be happy with that performance. But you can't just put really we're still rebuilding. Don't really rush it. If you really and I want to say something else. Tanking does work. Worked this season. I was an advocate for tanking, and it worked well for us this year. I'm not saying we should tank next year.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't work.
We didn't get that pick because we tanked. Oh, come on, Bravo.
I did ask for tanking at the beginning of the season, and this is what happened, and it was a good tanking process. So I'm not saying tank.
No, we just were ass. Okay. We didn't have to tank.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should tank again, but no, I think we should be just fine. Enjoy the rebuild, be a fun playing team, build a chemistry around our team. We don't have expectations, but potentially how far we are, I think we can really a possible play in tournament this year. I think so. If we really play very well.
What's your thoughts, Drew?
On who's going to make us win a championship faster?
Oh my gosh, no.
No, the question is,
how far are we from being a playoff team?
How far are we from playoff?
Realistically, we're not that far out. With the play-in tournament, anything is possible. I mean, all you have to do is be the 10th seed, and if we get Cade, we're going to have enough talent to be a play-in team. The real question is, are we going to be able to beat some of these better guys? You're going to be playing against LaMelo. You're going to be playing against the Hornets. Depending on what Boston does, they were in it last year. The Wizards were in it last year. You got some really good teams in the Eastern Conference that are going to be tough to play against in the play-in tournament. With that being said, I think it's all about, especially in the tournament games, who's got the hottest hand. And we got some guys on the squad right now, Saddiq Bey, who could go off and get X amount of points any given night. Cade's going to be that guy eventually. So I would say within the next 2-3 years, if not this year, we'll be back in the playoffs. And not just a one-and-done show where next year we don't make it. we're going to be consistent in making the playoffs. So, I mean, you're looking at, Brooklyn, they're on borrowed time. Once those guys' contract expires, they're probably going to book out again and go somewhere else. But they're trying to go all in right now. They're not here to stay. Boston, if they don't get it together, how long will Brown and Tatum want to be there? They might be gone. And if Philly can't get it together, Embiid might want out. I mean, things always happen and things always shift. But the Pistons have, if not the best, one of the brightest futures in the league. I really think it's going to be on coaching for the Pistons, but I would say 2-3 years at tops of getting back in there.
Yeah, I thought our future was pretty bright before we got any pick, considering like the potential that I believe, Sekou, Kelly, and Sadiq Bey, Stewart, I've been talking about them. I kept telling y'all, I was screaming and pounding on the wall, pounding on the table. Sounding like the most boring person in boring person in the room, repeating myself, talking about how these people we drafted and whoever we draft next year was going to change us forever. Well, I was right, because it's going to be Cade. And when I'm looking at it like that, I definitely think the playoffs are close for us. But I'm just not, just like Bravo said, I'm not going to have any expectations. There's a lot of things going on in the season. Injuries always happen when you have an 82-game. Hopefully we have an 82-game season this time. So it's something we'll see. But, oh, no, we're right on the cusp. Getting Cade just advanced our timeline by a couple years. So now instead of being 3 years away, we're 1 year away. You saw what happened with Charlotte. They went, even though they had Hayward or whatever, but they went straight to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Minnesota didn't. So that shows you who affects winning a little bit more. Drop any more of y'all questions, and then we will wrap up the show soon. Let's see. Personally, I think we keep Diallo and Frank Jackson. We had to trade Josh. Okay. Who will win a championship quicker with Green or Cunningham? I don't know how you answer that question. How would you know? How would you know? Think trading Josh in the 3 seconds will get you a mid first? No, but if they wanted something else, I might throw it in. I don't want to get rid of Josh Jackson. No, he's from the city, man. How can you get rid of the dude that's from the city? And it wasn't like he didn't play well. So I'm a little bit biased on not wanting to get rid of him. But, if you're telling me that a mid-first rounder in this draft, man, I might be willing to give up some more depending on what it is. But I don't know if that would be enough anyway, though. 3 seconds and Josh Jackson for a mid-first rounder in this draft, I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, why not? What do you think? Well, I see. So, yeah, this first round pick, there's a disadvantage about taking another player in the first round. The salary, the cap. You're already like your cap is already killed with the salary, so you don't want to really take. I'd rather take a fly on the second round picks than getting a first round talent, unless we really like the first round talent significantly. Like, I wouldn't really take it at this point because you can draft a similar player in the second round. This whole draft is decent in my opinion. Second round players will be like as good role players, and I really like Jared Butler. If you guys take a look at him, he's a guy who was projected at the end of first round or maybe beginning of second round. He's probably one of the best scorer in the game. He's a good scorer, point guard. But the point is, he's just diagnosed with a heart issue, so he might not be drafted in the first round. So if he's dropped in the second round, I'll be happy to take him. He's Jared Butler. I think is the guy who would be really one of the best backup point guard. He reminds me of Monty Williams from the Nuggets, and I really like that kid. There's a lot of them in the second round, obviously, but we could talk about this as long as in the draft time. Maybe we can. Do you guys have any questions about those talents in the second? JMO, let me know.
Man, like I said, I just don't care. I'm not into the second round like that because we got Cade. It's not really go unless our second round pick is a top 4 player in the draft. It's not really gonna matter. To be honest with you.
One more interesting.
Who's better between DSJ and Fultz? Well, pre-injury Fultz. Now I don't know.
For the second round talent, I think for the first round talent. Then I know I like Davion Mitchell, But I found out something interesting stat about him. He's only 6 foot. He's not 6'4". They just measured him in the combine, 6'0". So that's really lowered my estimation on him. His wingspan is 6.4, 6'4" inches, 6'4". So he might be okay, but I don't know if I can have the same expectation of him with a 6 foot. And
I mean, I get which ball brothers are going to the All-Star game next year. Lonzo, how about that? No, Charlotte. I thought Charlotte was in the play-in. I don't know if they're in the playoffs. They might.
Yeah. Charlotte is at a playing team. You know what? I think a bad team might not be a good this next year. Is the Boston Celtics might not be good as we expect next season because they seem like not really fun team. Only Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But
man, I hate the Celtics. You already know that.
Yeah.
So I care less about them. I'll take Jaylen Brown though because I like Jaylen Brown as a person and as a basketball player. Not that I don't like Jason Tatum as a person or as a basketball player, but I like Jaylen Brown a lot. So I'll take him. I don't know how that would work on our team though. We would have to trade some people and move some things around, but I'm not really necessarily trying to trade people. But if Jaylen Brown was available, I think Jaylen Brown still scratching the surface. I think he can get even better. So if that was available, that would be something great. But Boston they got their own little situation going on. It's a dumpster fire over there, and it's so funny they have all of this good culture, like good talent, and like they can't do anything, you know. So, all right, man. Let's see. Jaylen Brown has superstar potential. He isn't used correctly. I agree with you. He definitely has super. Like I think he can be. Is just as good as Tatum, or like 98% of Tatum at Tatum's best. Like I just think he's that good. He's younger, so I understand he's Jason Tatum. He's a very, very phenomenal player, but never sleep on Jay Beasley because Jay Beasley, he spent years, first couple years, really working on his game to get where he is. Okay, I don't think I see any more questions. All right, we're going to do final thoughts. Bravo, what's your final thoughts for the short show we have today on Free Smoke Sunday?
Yeah, good show. I'm working, so can't really. I try to talk, but we'll make it short. And hopefully you guys are going to see the draft. I think I'm confident in Troy Weaver, and we're going to draft the best player in the draft, one of the best players. And just stay positive. You know, this is the moment where we were very happy when we landed the first pick. And I'm like thrilled. I've never been excited before in my life. This is the first time I get really super excited because we landed that pick. Keep the momentum going. Keep the happiness going. Don't worry about the Green, Cade comparison or like who are we going to select. Troy Weaver is going to get us the best guy. And I do feel like it's going to be Cade. So stay positive, okay?
All right, Bravo. Yeah. Now you speaking, man. Troy won't mess it up. Drew, you got some final thoughts, man?
Good show, man. We got some things we needed to talk about. Hopefully Team US of A can turn this thing around and take it a little bit more serious. Hopefully all these rumors and just big media outlets not talking about Cade coming to Detroit will all of a sudden change as we're getting closer and closer to the NBA draft. It's only a couple of weeks away, man. So once all that's settled, Cade's going to be a Piston, and they have no choice but to talk about Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons, and that's the bottom line because Double D said so.
Okay. Shout out to all of the people in the chat. Like I said, MotorCade. I don't even necessarily I just thought that was a funny name, man. So I had to put it in the title, man, because I saw some people on Twitter saying it, saw some people on YouTube saying it, man. They are always trying to come with nicknames. You remember Motor City Mobley? So Team USA will win the gold. They will once they get it together. All they need is one guy, Damian Lillard. Seriously, it ain't KD. It's Damian Lillard. If Dame show up, they'll win. If Dame don't show up, they ain't gonna win. That's kind of how I feel because he's the lead guard and he could he's a superstar. So, thank you for joining us, man. Sorry for a short show, but like I said, people are busy. I gotta wake up early, but I did want to say, man, Pistons fans, once again, puff your chest out, talk a little smack, but be smart because we're back, and it's the greatest thing that happened to the city, to be honest with you. Probably since we drafted Stafford, even though I know everybody don't like Stafford, but honestly, or then the greatest thing that happened before drafting Stafford was the Red Wings won the chip in 2008, and I think the Tigers went to not 2008, but the Tigers went to the World Series. So it is what it is. This is gonna be great for us, man. We out.
Oh, he left the stream without it.
Okay.
Oh boy, this is awkward. Now we gotta kill time until he comes back. If he comes back, hold on.